Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna go deeper in the analytic of scales. We already told about major and minor scales, but did you know that there are several types of minor scales? If not, stick with me and I guarantee you that by the end of this video, you will perfectly understand their differences. So let's get into it. We already learned that scales have patterns, and by following these patterns, you can construct major and minor scales no matter the note you start with. But there are some other details about scales that you need to know. If we take the G major scale, you know thanks to the previous video that, for example, B is the major third of G, or that D is a perfect fifth of G. But actually, there's another way to name notes depending on their position within a scale. Each position corresponds to a certain scale degree, and each degree has a name that you have to remember. For a major scale, the first one is the tonic, the second one the supertonic, the third one the mediant, then the subdominant, the dominant, the submediant, the leading note, and the tonic again. In the case of a minor scale, the seventh degree is not named the leading note, but the subtonic. This is very important to choose the correct name for this one, because it can totally change the meaning of what you say. A subtonic is a whole step lower than the tonic, whereas the leading note is only a half step lower than the tonic. So you need to pay attention to that. Instead of always using their full names, there are several ways to talk about degrees using numbers. You can use regular numbers, numbers with circumflexes, or again, Roman numbers. I personally prefer numbers with circumflexes. I'd rather use regular numbers for intervals and Roman numbers for chords, but use what is most convenient for you. A scale does not have to start from the lowest note. As with melodic intervals, you have ascending and descending scales. In this series of videos, we've only been talking about ascending scales so far. If we take the G minor scale, it goes like this. This is an ascending scale, because it goes from the lowest note up to the highest note. A descending scale is the opposite. We take exactly the same notes, but this time we start from the highest note down to the lowest one. And that's it, you got yourself a descending G minor scale. Nothing more complicated. Okay, so that being explained, we can start talking about the main stuff. What are the differences between a natural minor scale, a harmonic minor scale, and a melodic minor scale? As I said during the first episode, the minor pattern is like this. By respecting this pattern, I told you that you can construct any regular minor scale possible. But actually, with the word regular, I was referring to natural minor scales. This is like the default minor scale. We don't say natural all the time, but if no other term is specified, we will always assume that we talk about natural minor scales. And as a reminder, here's how the G natural minor scale sounds like, by playing both the ascending phase and the descending phase. Then, for a harmonic minor scale, the difference is that the subtonic is raised by a semitone, so the minor seventh becomes a major seventh, and now it sounds like this. So basically, if you know a natural minor scale, you also know its harmonic equivalent. Okay, so now let's talk about melodic minor scales. The melodic minor scale has the particularity to not have the same notes when you play its ascending phase and its descending phase. In the ascending phase, the melodic minor scale is basically a harmonic minor scale but with a major sixth. Why? Because some dudes decided the gap between the subdominant and the leading note in a harmonic minor scale was too big. So instead, they created this new minor scale with a smaller gap between those two. So this is the ascending phase of the G melodic minor scale. But when you play the same notes in a descending way, you soon realize that the first few notes sound very major. Indeed, the only difference with a major scale here is the minor third. So when you play the ascending phase, you first hear the minor third, giving a very minor sound to the scale right away. But when you play the descending phase, you have to wait 6 notes to hear the minor third, which gives the beginning of the scale a very major sound. So those same dudes decided they wanted to keep a minor sound all along the descending phase. So they decided to make the descending phase of the melodic minor scale a descending natural minor scale instead. So a full melodic minor scale is constructed like that, and therefore it sounds like this. This is the traditional way to look at a melodic minor scale, but nowadays you can do whatever you want with it. So you don't have to use a natural minor pattern during the descending phase. Just have fun with all of those sounds. It's all that matters. That's the end of this video. It was quick, but I really wanted to get that straight. Plus, it allowed me to get you introduced to the notion of scale degrees. It will be very important in the next video, because next time we will talk about the construction of chords. So subscribe to my channel to not miss anything, especially because new things are coming. Like and comment this video if you enjoyed it. Stay tuned and see you next time.